You're tired of getting destroyed every game in CFP 26 simply because you can't score more points than your opponent. But don't worry, because in this video I break down the top 3 offensive playbooks you absolutely must be using if you want to dominate. And don't worry, the playbooks get better as we go along, so you're not going to miss out on any of them. Let's jump right into it. Alright, that first playbook that I want to show you is a super toxic offensive scheme from the Ohio State playbook. It's perfect for road to the CFP. Let's show you. Alright, and so when we talk about offense in this game, you don't need to utilize every single play in the playbook. You just need to have a couple of different plays, and you have to be able to master them and run them at a high level, right? And so a great example of that is going to be here from single back bunch tight end, like I said, from the Ohio State playbook. And it's really just 2 plays that are almost unstoppable that's going to be pretty easy for you to just run. I'm not kidding. You can run these 2 plays every play and have success. First, we're going to be in this RPO stretch alert bubble right here because you're going to see how either you're going to hand that ball off and be able to speed boost all around with a stretch run, which as we know, stretch runs can be difficult to defend, or you can just throw the RPO on the other side of the field, right? And then obviously when you get into the open field in this game, you have the opportunity to speed burst and get around defenders. But I want to take a look at the replay because this is the key. This is the guy that you're reading. Right here, you see how he gets a little flat-footed and he's like hesitant to react. He's not even guarding anything. He's not guarding the bubble. He's not trying to commit down to the run to the other side. And so you're able to kind of just throw that pass out there and get in front of him. Now again, right here, he does a little bit better job of reacting, but we're still able to just throw it and pick up easy yards. Like, this is a really easy play, and the best part is there's no adjustment, right? All you're doing is walking up to the line, making a read. You see how those 2 defenders right there, actually, they just decide that they want to come down completely and stop the run. So it's all about making those reads. This time it would be like you have to look out to the edge, and so you're just going to take it, outrun some of these guys, and turn that into a big gain. So that's really the first power play here that, again, you can start to call a lot. But then when they, I guess, maybe start to catch on to that, you can come into verticals. Now, you can call this stock as well, or you could put your tight end on a corner route, do something like this. And so, again, now you take the snap, you step up in the pocket, and if you have a good free form, you're going to be able to get that ball out in front of that receiver and score an easy touchdown. Again, regardless of the coverage, the best part about these particular plays in particular is that you don't have to read the defense. You pretty much just call what you were going to call anyway, and you let the defense dictate where you're going with the ball. Literally every play you're going to have someone open with this, right? So the problem really isn't getting guys open. It's just about, can we actually make the reads depending on what coverage they're in. So we come right back into verticals. Right here we see that they're going to be in match coverage, and that would be a great example of take that running back check and release as soon as it breaks out. Right, boom, take it. Like, this is just very easy. A very easy route that's going to be pretty hard for them to defend, and especially if their user's not in the right spot, they're going to be absolutely clueless. But if we put them in cover 2, and that's probably when you want to call this play the most verticals, because you're just going to be looking right up the sideline. Wait for Jeremiah Smith, in this case, to run over the top of that flat defender, and then we just possession catch that pass in the end zone for an easy touchdown, right? But again, like I said, we'll go through it one last time, because truly the best part about this play is it doesn't really matter what defense they're in. You're able to see if you put that tight end corner out, sometimes you're just going to have a wide open, easy touchdown. So those 2 plays in particular, very toxic from the Ohio State playbook, because you don't have to make any high routes, any adjustments to them. You could just walk the line, quick snap them all game, and you're going to have someone open regardless of the defense that they run. All right, next I want to show you a playbook that has a ton of glitch plays that are going to catch your opponent off guard. If you want to be cheesy, force your opponents into more rage quits, the Oregon State playbook is the perfect one for you. Let me show you why. Alright, and so the first play that I want to show you is going to be halfback direct snap right here, alright? We're going to respot the ball to give ourselves some more room, but this is one of those runs where it's like, you are never going to lose yards. There's no handoff involved. It's a direct snap to your halfback. This is Oregon State against Ohio State. A huge disadvantage for us, and I guarantee you we're going to be able to pick up just easy yards. And honestly, the best part about this run, honestly, is that you can speed boost. You're going to be able to get to the second level of the defense pretty often, and all you have to do is follow your blocks. Like, this is such a annoying offense to play against, because the thing is, I talk about gap shooting and run defense so often that, like, this is like one where that kind of goes out the door. You're rarely going to be able to shoot these gaps because they just have full control right off the snap of exactly where they want to run. And when you have good run stick, maybe you're good with the speed boost, right? Just like that, you're going to be able to get to the second level of the defense and, again, never lose yards. Again, this is a run that you can pretty much call every single play because you only have to pick up like 3 or 4 yards a pop to be able to move the chains, right? And so, again, you're never going to lose yards, so you're going to drastically help your average when you can't go backwards. You're always going to be going forward versus if we think about just a traditional handoff, it's a little bit slower. They can shoot a gap. No, with this, like, there's a reason, like, this is banned in a lot of, like, competitive settings because this is just brain dead. You're not really having to think at all. You're just literally following your blocks, and you can see how it doesn't even matter that we're at a disadvantage, and we're still able to just run forward all the time. So we go through it a few more times here, and this is also really dangerous in the red zone, right? Because you think about it, it's so tight, right? And even, like, you can know this play's coming, and that's the first time I actually think we lost yards with it. But you can honestly know this play's coming and still have a hard time stopping it just because the handoff is so quick and, you know, you can rip one off for a huge gain. So this is the first toxic kind of glitch play here that, like, even, like, with these random sheds, right, your strength on strength, you're kind of an even matchup right here, they are going to have no chance. Right, they're literally going to have no chance because even on our bad plays, we're still picking up 4 yards, which that's not sustainable for them on defense. But if we come to our next play here, and this is going to be a trick play. Again, I told you guys I'm bringing out the glitches here because sometimes I know a lot of you guys like to, you know, use that to your advantage, you know, in certain points of the game. Maybe you're playing against someone who's really good, but this is just orbit halfback cross screen, all right? From, I think, gun Y off, you know, X off, something like that. But it's just a cross screen to your halfback. Here's the thing. That halfback has the chance to get chipped up in the backfield at times. And so that's why, if he does, you just want to look out here to your screen. Always honestly be ready to throw your screen pass out there, kind of the orbit motion, you know, screen there. Kind of that's like a traditional RPO where you just have blocks setting up. But again, this is really on the other side of the field. This is really where you're trying to get the ball because then you're able to see, oh my gosh, ooh, the nasty speed boost spin combination. But that's really what you're trying to get to. And especially if they're in man coverage too, that's really what you're trying to hit. But again, this is really easy out here to be able to pick up 10, 15 yards just by a simple swing pass out behind the line of scrimmage. So again, boom, we go through it again. Next time I'm going to put them in man coverage, kind of show this. Okay, if they kind of commit all those guys to that left side, right, then you just end up throwing to the other side. But this is another play where you're pretty much never going to lose yards. You're always pretty much going to be going forward. And so that's going to be a huge advantage here for you. So we go through it again. Cross screen, see if we can get our man coverage. He doesn't get out of the line of scrimmage. So that's kind of the thing where sometimes you just want to throw to the other one. And not really wait on the screen because you're going to have to drop pretty far back with this if he gets chipped up. So I would just immediately drop back. Then we throw that pass. Now, Caleb Downs snuffed it out. I mean, I can't wait for this guy to go to the NFL because he is annoying on college. But here we go. One last time here. Just make the read. This time it looks like that's the correct read right there. We break a couple of tackles. We're able to pick up a first down. So this Oregon State playbook, it's kind of known for its high-powered, high-octane passing attack. But honestly, you can just throw some of these trick plays, glitch plays, be toxic, and be cheesy. And you're going to get a lot more rage quits than you are right now. Alright, and the best part is you can go to the link down below in the pinned comment and grab my entire Oregon State offensive ebook where I go through the exact plays, setups, videos to help you transform your offense. It's not just trick plays in that ebook, it's actual passing and running plays that are going to drastically increase your points per game. So again, I encourage you to check it out and you can use code YouTube to get 20% off your first purchase. I can't wait to help you out on offense. Alright, this next offense is one for those of you who really want to pass and want to take the top off of the defense very quickly. Let me introduce you to the Miami Hurricanes offensive playbook. Alright, so this play is called Mills Y Wheel here from the bunch strong offset formation. Alright, play will be on the screen as always, but this is a great pretty much everything beater, honestly, right? Because we're just going to go and put them in, you know, a random defense. But this is a one-play touchdown, right? But obviously, you always want to make sure that you have a check down or a backup option. And that, you know, this drag to A is a great option here for us. So, again, right here, you know, you know, when you're playing against those heavy pass rushes or a great pass rush, you always want to be ready to take the drag, especially early in games, because that will then force them to kind of shade their coverage down, kind of like this, and that's really when you can get your look, all right? So for the sake of showing you the bomb, like I said, you would just have your check down, but I'm just going to spy off the pass rush. So if they do shed you, it's just hit your drag, right, or take off with your quarterback. Pretty easy options there. But cover 3 defense, this is just an easy one-play touchdown. All you're doing is you're going to have the ability to hold down that outside third defender with your comeback route, and then you're just going to be able to throw that, you know, deep post down the field. He does a great job of breaking this route off, and then you're able to see your comeback route is going to just hold this guy down, and so then you're just going to just be able to throw this pass, you know, right there for an easy gain. All right, we go through it again against cover 3, because cover 3 is the worst defense ever. It always just seems to get bombed. Although I lied, cover 3 has great use cases. But boom, we're going to take the snap again. You're going to watch it again where he gets sucked that time all the way down, and that gives you just an easy pass lead. And again, the most important thing is actually stepping up in the pocket to make these passes easier. When you drift backwards, right, you want to cancel your drop back, climb the pocket just like that, and then let the ball go, because you see again, boom, you're just going to move this guy, get him to hesitate, come down on the comeback, and then we just throw a pass right over the top of his head because we hold the inside third inside with our shriek route. And so then we just pass lead this ball all the way to the sideline. So a pretty routine, pretty easy bomb to be able to hit. We put them in cover 2 this time, obviously, right? A lot of people are going to use that mid-read defender. We understand that. But we also understand that cover 2 is very susceptible to just getting split with post routes, you know, down the middle, just like this. I mean, just super, super easy stuff. The comeback route, once again, is going to move that, you know, defender there more towards the sideline, and then just allow you to throw that post route, you know, just for an easy gain. You see how far out to the sideline this man is trying to contain a comeback for some reason. Kind of just broken zone logic here, but then we just have an easy, you know, rat catch in the middle of the field for a big gain. So obviously, like I said, this is for the passers, the guys who want to kind of take the top off the defense. That's one really good play from bunch strong offset. But obviously, we're not going to be done there, because if we come into fake screen wheel right here from trips tight end offset weak, you're just going to notice this is another great bomb, because we're just going to put them in cover 2. That's really when this is best. It's always kind of been like that, although it can beat other defenses, because as you can see, you're just going to have a wheel route wide open down the sideline. The reason why that's the case is that wheel is just going to run over the top of that flat, because that's how the coverage is designed to play. Now, if they want to run cover 3 here, obviously indicated by one single high safety in the middle of the field, then we just look right up the seam. Right, that's why cover 3 is, that's the weakness. It's just getting beat right up the seam. You just hike those seam, right? If you wanted to give yourself another option, you could put your running back on the in route right here. They're just going to be in cover 3, so I'm just going to hit that pass, try to speed boost away from that guy. Again, when they're in cover 3, don't be afraid to hit your smoke screen as well, right? We're not going to let them run man coverage here. Don't call this against man. Just telling you, there's other plays here in this Miami playbook that are better against man coverage. But boom, we're just going to see it again right here where, I mean, that time they did a good job shedding. But you can just look right up the seam pretty routinely against cover 3 defenses. Nothing really to worry about. But again, like I said, don't be afraid to hit that smoke screen. You're able to see we pick up 5 yards pretty routinely, especially if they don't put hard flats in the field. So we go through it one last time here. This time we're going to have them put hard flats on the field. But then again, that's what I'm talking about, where you're just going to be able to throw that pass right up the seam. And that's a great way to end it, where we just break a couple of tackles so we get into the end zone. So cover 3, weakness against, you know, the seam area. So if they do change to cover 3 instead of cover 2, look right at the seam or look to your running back out of the backfield. But against cover 2, that's really what this play is designed to beat, because you're just going to force that cloud flat defender to sit in no man's land, and you're going to throw your wheel route over the top of him if he doesn't drop far enough back. All right, if you enjoyed that breakdown of the top 3 offensive playbooks you must be using here in College Football 26, again, I encourage you to go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down offensive tutorials and tricks just like this every single day on CFB 26. You're not going to miss out on any of them. But just imagine all the plays, videos, write-ups, all the breakdowns I have in my offensive ebook for the Oregon State and the Georgia Playbook game. Go to the link down below the pinned comment, check it out today. Use code YouTube to get 20% off, and I look forward to helping you transform your offense here at CFB 26. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.